Hey everyone, it's John. Welcome to the channel. I talk about lots of different topics in clear, natural English and test you on your listening. There are keywords and phrases that I use in the description. Look at them now as a pre-teach or look at them at the end as a review. Today I'm talking about things that I miss from the UK, my home country. We're starting right now. Let's go.
Okay, next question. True or false?
So today is the other side to my old video, things I love about Japan. This is things that I miss from the UK. I kind of need to start with the most obvious things, family and friends. If they were not at the top of my list, I don't know what kind of person that would make me, but of course they are at the top. They're the only real things that you cannot replace. But there are some things that make that easier. In today's world, with so much online technology, so many different platforms online of keeping in touch, it's never been easier to do so. Another thing that makes it easier for me personally is even before I moved abroad, my friends and family were kind of in different places already. I have family in Florida as well as in Scotland and in England. I also have friends in my hometown Bridgewater as well as the town where I went to university, which is quite far apart. So I was already kind of used to being international, I guess. What else do I miss? I miss TV. Now, with online streaming services, you know, I'm pretty spoilt for choice as to what I can watch. I don't even have enough time to watch the shows that I want to watch on Netflix, so I can't really complain about the choices available. But there are times when I kind of miss the feeling of sitting down in the evening, turning on the TV and seeing, you know, the old shows that I miss. Shows like QI, which is a quiz show with comedians, lots of other things that used to be on like a certain day of the week. But, you know, that kind of stuff is changing. So I feel like if I went back to the UK today, you know, that would already be so different. I just kind of miss how things were. As for Japanese TV, there are some really great Japanese TV shows, though a lot of it doesn't really appeal to me. I'm not sure if that's the language barrier because I'm not fluent yet. Others, it might be the type of humour. I don't know. There's some good stuff that I enjoy. In my last video, I talked about how I love izakayas in Japan, but I also miss British style pubs as well. Now, the main thing that's great about pubs are the people you go with. If you go with a nice group of friends, then you're going to have a great time. So it kind of is the friends and family side of going to the pub rather than the pub itself. But aside from that, British pubs have a lot of variety in their drinks. There are so many different types of ales and beers that you can try, as well as ciders, which are also really popular in Somerset, the part of the UK that I'm from. I've tried to find some of my favourite ales in Japan. Sometimes I've gotten lucky, but not very often. When I am lucky though, I just stock up on my favourite drink, and that gets me by for a while. Alright, let's time out and quiz you. Question 1. I said 2 things that made it easier for me to be away from family and friends. One of them was internet and technology. What was the second thing? It was the fact that a lot of my friends and family live in different places already. Question 2, true or false? There are some great Japanese TV shows that I enjoy. Yes, that was true. Not all, but some. Question 3, what is there a great choice, a great selection of in British pubs? If you said beers and ales, you are correct. If you said cider, then you are correct as well. Okay, moving on. I talked about customer service in the Japan video. While Japanese customer service cannot be beaten, there are times when I do miss the English customer service. Let me tell you a quick story. When I went back to the UK for a trip, I went inside a pound shop. It's kind of like a 100 yen store, dollar store. So, you know, it's not known for great quality. It's known as being cheap and cheerful. So I talked to the cashier when I was paying for my things, and I just kind of said, oh, how are you? How are you doing? And without skipping a beat, he just said, oh mate, I've got a terrible hangover. I can't imagine someone here being that honest and open. It would just be too unprofessional. But I love how kind of real and genuine that exchange was. And, there are times when I miss that. I think going a bit beyond customer service, the way people are socially in the UK, we are sarcastic quite a lot and complain a lot. British people love to complain. So, not really in a negative way, it can be overdone if you just complain all the time, obviously, like no one wants to be around those people, but in a kind of joking way, like, oh, it's terrible, isn't it? And it's hard to explain, but I feel like strangers can bond over things that they both agree are not good. Like, oh, why is this happening to us? It's a bonding thing. Okay, food that I miss. Cheese. England has good cheese. England has so many different selections of cheese. My hometown is actually very close to the town of Cheddar, which is, of course, where cheddar cheese comes from. Thanks to places like Costco, I can now finally get some decent cheese. Costco, please sponsor my video. Other food as well, like baked beans, which is a very important part of a British diet. And sausages, like real sausages, not the, thin cocktail wiener sausages, flavorful, full of herbs and spices. I also talked about the convenience of Japan, but there are a lot of things about Japan that are not convenient. Just to mention one quickly, the banks in Japan are not open on weekends. So what do people who work Monday to Friday, like myself, what are we supposed to do? I've never understood it. But in the UK, banks are open on weekends. Maybe not all day, like they take like a kind of half day on Sunday, but there's still a time when you can go to your bank. I make it sound so simple because it should be. Japan, please open your banks on weekends. Okay, so that's kind of my list. I don't want to drag out this video too long, but there are so many more things I could have mentioned. I'm not even looking at the camera. A couple of people have asked me, does it get easier the longer you live away from your home country? Does it get easier? Do you get used to not having those things that you miss? Not really. I think a lot of people imagine that you start out really missing everything and then you get used to it and your level of missing things just kind of goes away. That's not the case for me. Maybe for other people, sure. If I compared this last year to 6 years ago when I first came here, within the year, within the month or week, I always seem to have those ups and downs, like, oh, I had a bad day, I really miss everyone, and then, other times, things are going great, I'm enjoying sushi. Maybe the food stuff does get slightly easier over time, like you get adjusted to not eating cheese every day. You kind of adapt to that stuff, but the friends and family, no, you're always going to miss them. Yeah, depending on the day you're having, you might think about them a bit more, a bit less. Alright, second round of questions. Question 1. Why did I enjoy that exchange of customer service in the UK? Because it seemed like a real, genuine conversation. Question 2. What did I say was convenient about the UK? That the banks are open on weekends. And finally, last question, true or false, missing things gets easier over time. That was false. Little things like food and drinks, maybe. Friends and family, real important things, no, false. That's the end of the questions. Please, please, please tell me how well you did. It really helps me to know what kind of level people watching this video are. If you struggled a little bit, please check out the keywords and phrases list in the description below. They are timestamped. Click on them, watch that part again instead of the whole video. I hope that helps you. If you like this video, please show some love. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Goodbye.